First off, thank you all for coming on such short notice. It was pretty important that we got word out, so that's why the quick notice. So we really do want to thank you for dropping everything and coming down here. My name is Rob Streck, S-T-R-E-C-K. I'm the Sheriff of Montgomery County. On May 27th at 6:08 p.m., the Montgomery County Sheriff's Office was dispatched to 107 East Floyd Avenue in the township of Harrison. When we got there, we were told that Catherine Claiborne had been missing since around 5:30 p.m. Family members had already started checking the area when we arrived. She had been known to walk an area almost like a circle of the neighborhood. The family searched those areas first before calling us because they had looked for her before in the past and found her. Once they did not find her right away, they called us. We took a report in. Montgomery County Sheriff's deputies began searching the area. They searched the parks. They contacted neighbors, canvassed the area, and once again, while they were searching, the family was assisting with the search. As we all know by now, a few hours later, several tornadoes went through that area of Harrison Township, and once the storms went through, there was areas in that part of the township that were highly damaged and a lot of destruction throughout. Deputies once again began searching. By this time, they were searching for anyone who may have been injured or worse, killed during the storm. Throughout the night, more people from search and rescue teams started coming, and the searches began in different parts of the township. All at the same time, there was a team dedicated to looking for Miss Claiborne and working with the family. Throughout the week, we have been able to use resources from the Ohio chapter of Texas EquiSearch. They are a professional search and rescue organization that was brought into town specifically to help search for Miss Claiborne because of the terrain that we were searching was impassable for most of us. These were well-trained individuals who have worked natural disasters for much of their careers. They worked for several days, once again, searching the areas. One of the problems was we had no starting point. We really had no starting point. We had 5:30 p.m. is when she had went missing, and then we had about 5 hours later storms hit. So we would search, and then once we cleared that grid, we would go to another and expand the search. So Texas EquiSearch has been in our community before, helping law enforcement, and they were with us every step of the way here. We also used our drones and Box 21's boats. I'll talk about the boats in a few minutes, but we were able to have boats on the water, the Stillwater River, 2 days. And lastly, the Ohio State Highway Patrol brought us their helicopters, so we were able to search using their technology from the air. On June 4th, yesterday, we had still not located Miss Claiborne, so Major Matt Haynes contacted the Region 3 Strike Force and the Ohio Department of Transportation. Plans were made to be here this morning and start clearing the large amounts of debris and the huge trees that were in certain areas that we could not get to search. So we want to thank them. They were going to be here this morning and on their way. On June 4th at 7:30 p.m., Texas EquiSearch was out searching once again. They got to an area near the Stillwater River where there is a creek that is also attached. There's about an 80-foot drop from where the houses are and their property lines are down to the creek. The boats, like I had said, had been in this area the day before, probably within 20 yards. Luckily, last night the waters had receded and Texas EquiSearch professionals were out, and they located a female they believed that was caught in heavy debris and covered by many trees. They were able to get down and they were able to call the sheriff's office there, obviously fire, EMS, and then eventually we had to call the coroner's office. Last night, the coroner could not determine who was found at that area, so today they conducted an autopsy and was able to confirm that Catherine Claiborne was found deceased at that location last night. Once again, it's not the outcome we wanted by any means. We really wanted to be able to tell the family, who was great throughout this, very helpful, cooperative, that we had found the wife, mother, alive, and we were bringing her back. Unfortunately, we were not able to. And I would like to thank also everyone else I mentioned, the community for stepping up, for helping when they could. There was a lot of people who wanted to do more, but because of the dangerous terrain, downed power lines, trees everywhere, we were unable to get some of the large search groups that people wanted to voluntarily do. We appreciate it. It was just, unfortunately, a very destructive area that we were in. So with that said, are there any questions?
The location that she was found, how close was that to that circular area she usually walked?
It's close. There's several yards and like a long driveway that goes back to where the drop-off is. Major Haynes, it's about a 75 to 85 foot drop-off, and but it was relatively close to that area that she normally walked.
Can you talk more in depth with how much more the damage and debris and tornadoes complicated this search? In previous examples, people usually found a lot sooner.
It's hard to say if people are usually found a lot sooner. I will say that the storm damage definitely complicated this search. We can't say for sure, but if she fell down that large cliff area and the storms did not come through and the water rise so quickly and trees swarm the area, could we have found her earlier? Could EquiSearch have found her earlier, even though it was a cliff and that's what they're trained to do? We'll never really know, but I can tell you from being out there every day, being out searching, that you would be in certain areas and look, and there would literally be 15 feet of trees stacked on each other like Legos. That's what we use dogs and everything else for, to try to get into. But to try to move those, it would have been impossible until, like I say, we contacted ODOT and Region 3 Strike Force today to try to start doing some of that, because there is just nothing but pure destruction in some of those wooded areas. The coroner, we're still waiting to hear what they determine. We can't answer that. We can't answer whether she fell prior at 5:30 when she went missing, or if the storms actually caused her to end up in that location at this point. And I be honest, I don't know if we ever will be able to determine.
If she survived that fall, if she had fallen, we don't know that for sure, but if she fell down that 80-foot drop from the back of the yards down to the creek bed, was she then, you indicate she was sort of trapped under those trees?
Yeah, she was definitely under large amounts of trees and brush and mud. Obviously, at this point, we don't know if that was caused because the rivers started rushing so quickly and trees began falling at the storms, or if there was just a very large area at that point where there were trees and limbs. We really can't answer that.
Would that have been underwater at some point then? Not
we do believe that part of the reason we did not find her was that she was underwater for time.
Did they mention any efforts that she had a phone to call to any type of
She did not have any of that. Unfortunately, Miss Claiborne was having signs of dementia, and she could not communicate.
For someone who has signs of dementia, can't communicate, and you meant the family searched themselves first and then contacted you. Going forward, if similar things happen to other families with someone similar with that kind of dementia, do they contact you sooner? Do they search themselves? What do you?
Yeah, I mean, I'm never going to second guess the family. They have dealt with issues before where they knew she was just out walking and things like that. But I would say yes, if there are factors that are involved where someone could get further than we thought, then yes, I would call local law enforcement right away and get that going. We've had reports, or we've heard before that once when she walked away, she got as far as Vandalia, the city limits of Vandalia. So, like I said, we don't even know where a starting point was at that point. So yes, I would say anybody with a family member that suffers from some of those illnesses, if they're missing, call right away. Once again, no one's ever going to yell at you for calling, even if the person walks in the door 3 minutes later, they're just going to be happy they walked in the door.
The family didn't search anywhere near that drop-off during their...
No, I don't believe. Well, I think that was just main road searches, and once we got there, we began canvassing in the parks. In some of the wooded areas, and then unfortunately the weather changed.
I mean, Sheriff, this place where she was, I mean, basically it was impassable, and for several days after the tornado, I mean, there would have been almost no way to get down there to it.
We don't believe, based on how much the waters have dropped, that she would have been seen during those other searches. I will tell you that when the coroner's investigator got there, had to ask several times what we were looking at, because they couldn't even see her until they walked them over. So it's just a bad situation.
Good.
But once again, thanks for coming on such short notice.
I had a question unrelated. The investigation with the 14-year-old that was shot, is there any more updates on that? Do you have anything else that's to know?
I'm sorry, I don't have an answer for you on that.
All right. Good. Sure.
No, thank you.